Are you staring at your ceiling at 2 a.m., feeling like the world just doesn't make sense anymore? Maybe it's not just stress, it's something deeper. You're bombarded every day with headlines about climate collapse, endless war, corruption, and it all feels hopeless. You scroll and scroll, hoping for answers, but end up with even more dread. If you're feeling lost, I'm speaking to you. Don't give up. There's a reason, right now, to keep going. Let's talk about it. Hey, you're watching the Growth Mindset Project. If you believe in making progress one step at a time, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any mindset upgrades moving forward. Let's get real. You've tried to convince yourself that work is meaningful, that starting a family still means something, that the world values your existence. But sometimes, that persistent doubt creeps in. Do you actually need the world? Especially when it looks so broken, chasing endless growth, fixated on stuff, drowning in conflict and disaster. The news and your feed are relentless. Even the most polished self-care advice can feel hollow, like a way to numb yourself so you can tolerate more bad news. Maybe you've tried therapy, picked up meditation, even read books about positive thinking, but the glow doesn't last. Nothing seems to touch that fundamental worry. Is it even worth striving for purpose when it feels like everything's falling apart? When the odds are stacked so hard against you? Let's dive into that question. Maybe, as a kid, you thought people were good, the future was bright, and you'd follow a path similar to the one your parents took. Then the illusions started breaking, institutions revealed as untrustworthy, opportunities disappearing, the foundations of life, home, work, future, all now feeling like a lottery instead of a guarantee. Now, as a young adult, you're on a tidal wave of information. Every swipe reminds you, nothing is promised. Environmental catastrophes, species disappearing, leaders who fail to protect the people they serve. The system looks rigged, and the horizon seems darker with each passing day. Even if you do everything right, you could end up alone, broke, sick. No wonder you're stressed. But look deeper. It's probably not just stress. What you're feeling is helplessness, a kind of paralysis. You're not just overwhelmed, you feel like nothing you do matters. Your thoughts loop endlessly on the chaos in the world. Being informed becomes a substitute for agency. If you can't fix things, at least you want to understand them, to be ready for disaster. But after another round of doomscrolling, you're left with the same heavy emptiness. Sleep escapes you. The temptations to numb out with alcohol, endless distractions, grow stronger. Even meaningful goals like relationships and careers start to look like pointless busywork. Why bother if nothing lasts? It can all feel like an apocalypse already happening in slow motion, waiting for the final shoe to drop. And yet, somehow, you keep going. Pause here, and if any of this is resonating, take a second to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. It helps others see they're not alone and helps us keep spreading these conversations. Back to it. What's happening when reality feels suffocating and yet you keep going, almost automatically? Psychologists have a phrase for this: hypernormalization. You live in a world where major institutions are broken and unreliable, and yet you carry on with daily routines, work, taxes, errands, almost on autopilot. It's not indifference. As one mental health expert said, people shut down not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much. You can't process it all, so you walk through the haze like it's normal. But that shutdown has a cost. Pent-up stress actually compounds the problem. Scientists point to something called the central inflammation map. The overwhelming amount of distressing information we all receive, news, toxic social media, feelings of inadequacy, doesn't just hurt psychologically. It can damage our physical health. Chronic inflammation, fuzzy thinking, impulsive decisions rooted in fear. Society gets trapped in a doom loop. Stress distorts choices, leading to more division and dysfunction. Ironically, the more helpless we feel, the worse things get. Now, this isn't to blame you or to say your cynicism somehow caused all these problems, but it does mean something important. The way you respond to all this pain shapes your world just as much as the events themselves. When you believe you're powerless, even at a massive scale, that learned helplessness takes over. We become passive spectators, not participants. But imagine if, instead of withdrawing, numbing out, or just surviving, we pushed back through connection and action. Imagine mixing self-care with social awareness, because as much as institutions shape us, they are still made of individuals, and individuals can change things. Remember, the first step out of helplessness is to realize you aren't completely powerless. That's why it matters to keep going. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's the bedrock for any change in your life or anywhere else. And this isn't about shallow self-improvement. It's about becoming more resilient, flexible, and courageous so you can help build the world you want to see. Even when the big picture looks grim, the human spirit still matters. Let's be practical. Start by naming what's bothering you. Talk about it. Name the injustice or loss that haunts you. Corruption, inequality, climate threats. These things are not normal, but silence makes them seem inevitable. Open up to a friend, a community, a mental health professional, even an online group focused on real change. The worst feeling is believing you're the only one who feels this way, going quietly mad while everyone else pretends it's all fine. You'll find that many people share your concerns. The world is full of activists, thinkers, organizers, even curious neighbors who want to do things differently. This is how connection begins. Isolation breeds fear, and fear breeds control. The last thing dysfunctional systems want is for people to feel empowered and united. So keep going. Speak up, raise concerns, especially for people suffering the most. But focus on effective communication. Shouting, blaming, or raging might get attention, but it rarely builds momentum or results. Start small. Describe objectively what's happening. The rise in mental health crises, the threats to local species, the economic squeeze. Gather perspectives, listen, untangle facts from panic. Then, talk about feelings, yours and other people's. Pain, sadness, anger, these are universal threads. Naming your emotions without accusation fosters clarity and solidarity. Suffering is universal. Voicing it is empowering. Out of this conversation, figure out what you'd like to change, both locally and globally. This is prefigurative action. Embody the future in your behavior now. It's not perfection or nothing, it's progress over time, with patience and compassion. Take the smallest action you can manage today. It's more meaningful than another night of scrolling, lost in the chaos. Here's a practical tip that could change your outlook. Seriously cut down on your social media time. Scientists say that reducing these inputs can break the cycle of helplessness and meaninglessness. At some point, more bad news isn't helping, it's just paralyzing. You don't have to know every horror immediately. After a certain point, being informed stops protecting you and starts hurting you. Real commitment is choosing to act on what you already know, balancing awareness with action. Accept where we are, but don't let that justify inaction. Take the pain and transform it into resolve. You are not too late to make a difference. History is full of moments when courage outlasted catastrophe. As long as art, love, nature exist, there's always something worth protecting. When you pair clear-eyed understanding with action, the impossible becomes possible. Keep going, even when the voice in your mind tries to convince you otherwise. Speak up, reach out, take action, even if it's small or imperfect. Reject the story that it's too late or that you don't matter. As one thinker famously said, the challenge of modern times is to live without illusions. and without becoming disillusioned. Be realistic with your mind and optimistic with your will. Choose courage, even when the view is bleak. That's how change begins. If you're still watching, take a second to like this video, leave a comment about your own journey, and hit subscribe. We're in this together. And before you go, check out our other videos for more practical ways to train your mind and build the strength you need to keep going. Don't forget to hit the bell. Your next breakthrough might be just a click away.